Yeah.
Good evening, and thank you very much for joining. We are here to discuss business planning during COVID-19. We want to say a special thank you to all our healthcare workers. You're doing a fantastic job, and we appreciate you. And we also want to, at this time, think about how we can assist our less fortunate countrymen or women. So whatever you can do, please feel free to do that. Our motto for this session and this unfortunate season is don't panic, plan. And that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. So we're not going to do any long intro as to what is business planning. We're just going to get straight into the meat of it. The bottom line is most of us, we have several business ideas, but realistically, we cannot get started on all of them. So the idea is to narrow down your business idea for this time during this pandemic rather. We will focus on one of those many plans we thought about or we're interested in. Tonight, as we go through the process, I want you to ask as many questions as you may have. I should have some assistance. My EBS colleagues will be on the line at some point, and they will be sure to answer your questions as you may have them, because everything I'm saying they're totally up to breast and even better than I am on this topic. So please feel free to ask your questions. After the session is over, I will also personally go through any comments and add my 5 cents to the answers if necessary. We have just about 30 minutes, so we're going to use them wisely. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Fees Financials. You can find me under Felicia Boyle Bazard. And please, if you haven't also watched all of the previous videos, kindly do so at your leisure. It will certainly bring us to where we are right now, because the previous videos were building steps. So we started with evaluating where we were financially, and we got to this point where we're now looking at alternatives, looking at next steps for dealing with this pandemic. Now, how do you narrow down your top 5 business ideas? And this is what we want to do at this point, this evening. We want to narrow down our top 5 to our highest idea and the idea we're going to develop. Now, note 1 means number 1, I want you to take out your pen, paper, gadget, whatever you have, and know that you're going to give the 5 ideas a score. So I'm going to ask 4 questions, and you're going to score or list the business ideas into categories of 1 through 5. And number 1 means that it's most favorable. So the first, you're going to list them in whatever order. Your 5 business ideas. So if you want to open a grocery store, you want to provide, that's idea number 1, you want to provide delivery service for essential products and products. Number 3, whatever those ideas are, list them in whatever order, number 1 to number 5. Now, number 2 is you're going to use the ranking system of 1 to 5. list in order of how realistic each of your idea is. So carefully think about how realistic your idea is, your 5 business ideas. Number 1, meaning it's most favorable, and number 5 is least favorable. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you can do that, please. And while you're doing that, just know that it's very essential that you figure out which idea you're going to go with first. Otherwise, there'll be several things tossing in your head. You would get lost in the thoughts, because as creatives, we are, whether you're a natural creative or you've learned it over the years or you're forced right now to become creative, your thoughts are going at 500 miles per hour. So this is a way to narrow down, what are we going to focus on? What can we realistically focus on? So by now you should have listed in the order of from 1 through 5 how realistic your ideas are. Now, if you had to put a starting tag or a price tag to each of these ideas, the second task I want you to do is, actually it's the third task, what is the price tag for each of the business ideas? The first price tag, maybe it's $20,000 US dollars to start the business, whatever your currency is, your country currency. How much money is it expected to cost for each business? You don't have to go spot on. You don't have to be like on the button. But this is just an estimation of how much you think each idea will cost you to start up. Now list those in priorities 1 to 5. So 1 being my business idea to start this delivery service will cost me $10,000. And then number 2, $20,000. The idea number 3, $100,000. Idea number 4, $250,000. Idea number 5, maybe $500,000. That's the price tag for getting started. So you list them in that order. Now, I want you to think about and be very realistic. How, if you were in business right now with any of your 5 business ideas, how relevant would you be during COVID-19? If you have a nightclub right now, you might not be so relevant. Huh? If you have a beach activity or some sort of jet ski business, this might not be the most relevant. So that may come at number 5. I'm not saying that will not, because obviously I am optimistic. I am not going to panic, and I don't encourage you to panic. I think we will rebound. It will take time, but so that does not mean that your jet ski idea is not good. I am just saying from a COVID-19 perspective, how relevant is your business idea, and list them in priorities of 1 through 5. Now, the last question that I want you to look at, the second to last question is, how passionate are you regarding each of these 5 business ideas? How passionate are you? Now, there's the saying that you love your job, you hate your work. How relevant is this? How passionate are you? Because your passion will be the thing that drives that idea, that business, help you to survive hard times based on your passion. If you're not passionate about a business idea, I'm not saying that you should not leave it on the list, but in my view, you will thrive better if you have a higher passion for the idea. So list them in the order of passion. Number one, this is I've always wanted to do this. This is something that, you know, I make straw bags, and I know the industry will rebound. So I am going to, this is my passion. I have a passion for making soaps and lotions and whatever the case is. This is my passion. Maybe I love hand sanitizers. I love making hand sanitizers. Whatever the case is. How passionate are you? List 1 through 5. And the final thing is, does your business appeal to the local market, international market, or combination of both? Or does your business or your business idea, does it appeal to the people in your home country only? Does your business idea appeal to the international market? And international from whether it's in the Caribbean, other countries in the Caribbean, other countries in the first world, just other countries in general. Is it international? The third thing is it a combination of local and international? So you appeal to both the local people in your, or the people within your country, as well as international. So just put, that's not a 1, 2, 3 answer. That is just for you to write next to your 5 ideas if it's local, international, or both. Now, you should have, or even if you're not and you're going to look at this video when we're done, that's okay too, and you're just taking in the information, that's fine. Once you would have completed the exercise of going through whether your business is, 1, realistic by numbering them from 1 to 5, how pricey is the business idea, and listing the price tag from 1 to 5. The third question is, how relevant is the business during the COVID-19? Listing 1 as very relevant and number 5, the least relevant. The fourth question is, how passionate are you for the business idea? And list them in priorities of 1 through 5. Your passion will drive your business. And just a quick story, when I was in high school, I would stay up until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning trying to balance a balance sheet. And I would be, oh my goodness, I'm off a cent, I'm off 5 cents, where is this? And that kept me up. And during that time is when I realized that my passion was accounting, and it still is. And that I feel as though I am not working. It's just part of my life. It's part of what I do. It's just within, it's ingrained. So that passion will make room for you. And we're gonna make your passion make dollars for you. And the other question, the last question is, how is your business appealing to the local market, international market, or a combination of the two? Now, once you would have done that, I want you to remember these are 4 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Specifically that you have to align. And then the 5th question is whether it's local or international. Now, what you're doing is you're looking to see, out of these 5 questions, which one of the business ideas hit number one at least 3 times. So 3 out of 5. And if you have that, where your business idea is hitting 3 out of 5, then that is potentially the business that you should try to work on during this time, this down period. And by all means, this is not an exhausted list. You can have many more questions that you can go through to soundboard it, but based on these questions, I think you'd have a very good idea as to which business idea you should really focus on. And now, if you have a business that is both appealing to both international market and local market, hitting number one, hitting the business idea that hit number one at least 3 times, you're in for a bonus. Because at this time, we not only want to appeal to our local market, we also want to appeal to the international market. Because if, for example, if you have a tea business that your grandmother assisted you to, we call it Senapad in Guyana, it's in the Bahamas, it's termed Cerasi. If that helps, whatever, you may have yourself an opportunity to have it tested, to see if it really works. You never know. You can be a billionaire in a couple days. So is your business idea that hit number one at least 3 times, both an international as well as local appealing business? If that is so, then you're in a better position than if you were only appealing locally or internationally. Now, once you would have done that, you're now at the position where you have the business idea that you're going to work on during this time. But before we start working, let's look at step 1 for creating your business plan. And this is more so where you're getting your mind regulated. A business is not an easy thing. A lot of persons slap businesses together and say that they're in business, and some actually make it well, but 8 out of 10 businesses on average who did not plan properly end up failing. So if you just slam bam the business together, you're almost looking at 80% chance of failure. Know that businesses really is not easy. You have to have a lot of, this is not such a popular word and it shouldn't be, you have to have a lot of balls to go through this. If you don't have that, ask yourself, am I really up for this? And if the answer is no, I can't stomach it, it's okay to bow out, and now is a good time. Be prepared for sacrifices, loads of it, because initially you may be the janitress, the water person, the CEO, the accountant, the everything. You will be wearing multiple hats in the startup if you don't have a lot of capital. So be prepared for that. I also want to encourage you to do it right from Jump Street. Make sure that you are legal. So make sure that you're set up with the right regulatory bodies. Make sure that you have your finances together. So every dollar that you spend, make sure you account for it. And this is a habit that you need to keep. I would love, and I'm sure my colleagues would love for you to retain us. Generally, accountants and financial people would like that. However, in the startup, that may not be possible unless you have really reasonable, shameless plug accountants who look out for you and want to see you succeed. So you want to surround yourself with the knowledge of getting prepared for the startup process. Do it right from the beginning. You would see during this time, even countries are offering stimulus packages, but they ask that you show that you've been registered properly. They're also asking that you demonstrate that you've been paying your taxes if you're a taxable entity. So you want to get it right from the beginning. We spoke about this in one of my previous videos, but the need for discipline. You need to be disciplined if you're gonna really get into this business idea. Make sure that you're a man or woman of your word. So at this time, one of my colleagues wrote an article in the newspaper, a fellow accountant wrote an article in the newspaper, the local newspapers, a few days ago, and he said that we have to start taking on the ASU mentality. And some of us call it ASU, some of us call it box hand. It's the idea of saving monies or pooling monies together for an opportunity. So this might not be the tradition or the time for traditional borrowing, but we have to become creative. And if we're gonna be creative, we need to be legit. We need to be a man or woman of our word. So if we say that this is what the deal is, the deal needs to be this and not, oh, this is not what I meant and that's not where I needed to go. So make sure that you're a man or woman of your word. And again, ask yourself, are you ready for serious actions? Are you ready to really take this to another level? And don't be afraid to involve others in this money-making journey. Don't be afraid, oh boy, I can't share this idea with Tom because Tom is gonna run away with my idea. You are the center of your idea. You are the person who has created your business idea, brainstorm your business idea. No one else will be able to achieve your business the way you would. So don't be afraid. If they want to copy it, that's okay. They'll understand that your passion, your drive, your commitment is not worth their time and they'll eventually bow out. So that's step one. Make sure that you get your mind right. Step two, during this time especially, I want you to take the time to research your business idea. Read as much as possible about your business idea. Look up everywhere, Google, everywhere you can. See what you can find about this idea, how it's done in other countries. If it's totally unique, then look at similar ideas and see what is going on, how you're able to deal with it. So research. What will make your business stand out? And think about this during the process. What will make your business stand out? What is your competitive advantage? Is it you? Then by all means, if you believe that you're one of the ingredients that will make your business stand out, then kudos to you. What else will make your business stand out? So think about your competitive advantage or your prospective competitive advantage. What will make your business stand out? Now, that's step two. And these are simple steps. We're not going to long drawn out steps. Simple steps. Step three, Now, this is where we're gonna make sure, put our pen to paper and our gadgets out. This is where the serious business, not like the previous things weren't serious business, but we're gonna create, business planning scare a lot of people. But I wanna share this tip with you, and this is, I believe it has worked for me. Don't start out your business planning using one of those business planning apps, because there's a business planning. Those things get you mind boggled in a second. And I'm a financial person, and I've used those apps before, and I'm like, what in the world? Don't do that just yet. The first thing you do, I want you to start with a 3-page document. So your business outline, 3 pages max, and this is what we're getting into right now. By the time your government lifts the restrictions and the curfews and whatever else, as soon as they lift that, you should be in a position where you have your 3-page business outline. And so the first page, I want you to start with your executive summary. And your executive summary is what will go into the big business plan if that is needed at the end of the day, maybe for financing or whatever the case is. But this 3-pager will be your book, your go-to manual for the time being. Your executive summary, your paragraph 1. Paragraph 1 should describe exactly what your business is about. Paragraph 1. Put in one paragraph, what is my business idea about, including the name. So it should go something like this. Fees Financial Accounting Firm is in the business of providing financial statements, audits, compilation, whatever else, and it's tailored to SMEs, small to medium-sized businesses with low budgets for financial, for accounting, and so Summarize, put in a pretty bow what your business is about in one paragraph. Don't run on. When Noah started building the ark, he started putting the wood together. No, tell me exactly. Noah started building the ark because he received instructions. The ark's name was Noah's Ark, and it was built to house X amount of that, 2 pairs of whatever, or 1 pair of boom. First paragraph. Second paragraph should speak about who you are looking to sell to. So you said what your business is about, your name. The second paragraph is, and this is not brain surgery, so all of us can do it. Once you can do it, and it's, even if you cannot put a sentence together because you had to go out and work to keep your family up from a kid, that's understandable. Use the voiceover on text, on Microsoft apps, and it can translate what you're saying into words. All right. So what is your business selling? Speak to that in your second paragraph. Your third paragraph should be, what makes you different? And this goes back to what we spoke about earlier, where we spoke about our competitive advantage. What differentiates you from your competitors? This is why you need, because ultimately you're going to show this to an investor or a partner. So it should speak to what will set your business apart from the other businesses. Paragraph 4 should deal with how much it is expected to cost. So what is the amount your business is expected to cost during the setup time? How much is your business expected to cost during the setup time? When you open your shop, from the moment you open your shop, how much it's expected to cost? And secondly, how you intend to fund it. So paragraph 4 should contain how much it's expected to cost and how are you expecting to fund this? Are you expecting to fund this from a private lender, your ASU lookalike funding? How do you intend to fund this? And don't get yourself tied up. Money is out there. Money is a lot of money out there, regardless of what people think. So once you have the right plan, once you have the right passion, your idea will be funded. Your page 2. So that's your first page. Again, your executive summary. After COVID-19, all of you who are on this live should have your 3-pager showing your business outline. The second page should focus on your vision. Your vision in one sentence. What is your vision? Where do you see yourself? So my vision for Fees Accounting Firm is to be a multinational corporation within 5 years and achieve my client's goal by being dedicated to their success. Just an example. Your vision. What on a big scale do you intend to achieve? On page 2 as well should contain your mission. So your vision is the big scheme of things. Your mission is, how are we going to get there? Vision, strategic. Mission, tactical. How are you accomplishing your mission, your vision? What is your mission? How are you looking to accomplish? I am looking to accomplish my vision. I'm not going to necessarily say that in my mission, but I'll say something like to be a phone call away, my business owner's friendly accountant who is a phone call away, who they know they can rely on for timely responses on financial decisions or something like that, just off the top. But brainstorm how you're going to accomplish your vision. Still on page 2, the third thing is your employees. Are you going to be where you answer the phone, Fees Accounting Firm or Felicia's accounting firm? May I speak with Felicia? Hold a second for her. Let me see if she's available. And then you come on with another voice, just when it's the same person. Are you gonna be the one who is making the coffee? And it sounds like a laughing matter, and I'm joking about it, but this is really serious. Sometimes when we start businesses, we have to start very small. It's fortunate if we can build in that startup so we can get some employees, and that's all well and good. And especially if you have such a great idea, you may need employees. So step 3 is make sure on page 2 you speak about who you will need for the first year, the second year, and even the third year. How you're gonna increase your employee book. Now, also speak on page 2 about your possible location. Where are you going to be located? Envision again during this process, based on what you are offering, where are you going to be located? Now, again, even though you mentioned it briefly on page 1, I still want you to speak more about your option for funding. And this again, the ASU type venture, where you offer a private share offering, because public share offerings take a lot, where you have to go through a whole IPO and initial public offering. But a private share offering, by all means, you can get a few of your friends together to raise capital to start your great business idea. You can look at a government grant. Now is the time, even though we're going through this situation, now is the time to still think about government grants and how you can tap into those. We heard, in the US, they are dealing with various stimulus packages, and around the Caribbean and the world at large. So, but still, government grants are essential. So when we think about, if your business deals with agriculture, now is a very good time to approach the government for that agricultural grant, where you can demonstrate how your business is going to help with the whole food bank, assisting local food, even potential exports. Now that is page 2, so you have a solid page 2. Page 3 is where we're going to deal with startup expenses and also projections. And don't get, if you're not a numbers person, don't get too worried about this. We're going to break this down very simply. Again, we only have a few minutes left, so stay with me. Your startup expenses. I want you to go through, similar to what we did in my previous videos, list all those things that you need to get in order to start up. So all those expenses that you want to, that you think are necessary to start up, I want you to list them. So before you put numbers next to them, list all of the expenses that you would like to, you think are necessary, and add. So let's go through again. I'm starting a farm. If I'm starting a farm, what are the things I would need to start this farm? One, I would need some crown land, because crown land meaning land that belongs to the government. I would need, and I'm looking for that as a grant. So the before I even deal with price, just have that in my head. So crown land, I would need seeds, I would need even plants, and even though I have a farming background, please forgive me if I'm saying some, I know my brothers and stuff will have my head, because I'm not the best farmer girl. I should be. But whatever else you need in farming, you need your tools and your rake and your hoe and your even a tractor, harrow and plow and all of that. So list all of the things that you would need. Then once you go through all the things, remember, this is not to run your business. This is to start your business. So think about what are the things you would need on day one to get this business idea started. List all of them. And once you would have listed everything, then the next set is to put an average price on them. And remember, the first step, after we would have gotten our minds right, we went on to the second step, which is research. So during your research, you will figure out how much you will need for each area. And at the end of that exercise, you'll come up with a total amount you will need to get your business started. Then, once you would have done that, we now need to go to projections. And where if you look at one of my previous videos, you will see how to create a budget. And basically your projections, basically a budget. How much monies you intend to pull in from an income perspective, what is your expenses. So you're gonna list your income, you're gonna list your expenses, and so you come up with bottom line after you would have subtracted your total expenses from your total income, what would be your expected bottom line. And the simple way of moving from year 1 to year 2, you just assume that you will have a 10% increase in sales, as an example, and you will have a 5% increase in expenses, because you don't want a 10% increase in income and a 15% increase in expenses, because you're making sense. Huh? So think about once you get your year 2 projections, and then take year 2 numbers and do a similar thing to get to year 3. So you get your nice 3-year projections. Now, still on page 3, and this may spill over to page 4, but if you can keep it to 3 pages, that would be great. I want you to come up with your timeline and your milestones. Now, what that means is your milestones list all those things you will need to do to get this thing off the ground. So speak with the Minister of Agriculture to get that crown land, register your business with the Ministry of Finance, Inland Revenue, or whatever it is, register your business, list all those steps that you think you will, and ask people, speak to people about what all you need, and people are out there to help you for free. What are all those things? What are the milestones? And put some time against these milestones. So today is April 14th. If you think that you can achieve this in a month by getting these steps fast track, or at least using the next 2 to 4 weeks to get your planning right, then put that as one of your milestones, that you will plan from April 14th to May 13th to get your planning right, and then you start executing. So you have a nice right plan as to how you achieve it. Now, you have your map. You can now, if you can afford it based on your budget and your funding, now you may want to engage a professional or complete an in-depth analysis or your deep business plan. Now, after you would have gotten your 4 pages, then you can go to that app, which the business planning app, because that will not confuse you now. The business planning app will get into relevant things like your competitors, the market, your break-even strategy, etc., etc. All those things are necessary. But if you do not have your simple outline of your business plan, you will get confused. I get confused. I get tired, like, oh my goodness, I don't need this anymore. But if you do this and you make your plan prior to going way in depth, I promise you that your life will be much easier. And now, but regardless of the option you take, whether you go to a professional or you complete the in-depth plan on your own, you will not feel lost. You can always use, like I said, a business planning app or a professional. Full robust plan is encouraged, and that's my phone buzzing, I'm sorry. Full robust plan is encouraged to get before you get your engine started. And once you would have done that, ladies and gentlemen, you are in good shape for a great jump start on your business. Do not be discouraged during this time. There is hope. Opportunities will come again. Do not panic, plan. Do not panic, plan. I cannot say that enough, because, for example, if you would have planned and then the economy bounced back, you can immediately get your business started faster than you know it. If you have to wait for a while, no issues there. At least you use the time when you had it to start your business planning. And I would wish you all the best, the greatest success on your business, and please do great things. Make sure you continue to support the people who are taking care of us even at this time, all of the essential people, and be kind to those who are really kind to you during this time especially, and even those who are not. So have a great evening, and thank you very much for joining me.